The Samsung Galaxy S24 Ultra is here to try to reclaim the top spot among the best phones by offering things the iPhone 15 Pro Max lacks. This includes a ton of Galaxy AI features that can do everything from auto-summarizing your notes and moving subjects around in your photos to translating phone conversations in real time. I am a devout supporter of what AI can do with our phones, and after using the Pixel 8 Pro's many AI-assisted features, I think it's clear that AI is where we will see the next revolution with our mobile devices. Not surprisingly, the Galaxy S24 Ultra is marketing itself as the AI phone to beat in 2024. From its intuitive circle to search feature that can reveal what weed is growing in my backyard to chat assist which automatically picks a better tone for my messages, these Galaxy AI features aim to simplify my life. At the same time though, the Galaxy S24 Ultra's $1,299 asking price is $100 more than what you'd pay for a Galaxy S23 Ultra or iPhone 15 Pro Max. This also comes with the most controversial change to Samsung phone, teaching the 10x optical camera of its predecessor with a less powerful but sharper 50MP 5x telephoto lens. Usually I expect longer telephoto ranges with successive devices, so Galaxy AI will need to prove that software can make up for the apparent lack of major hardware upgrades. In my Galaxy S24 Ultra review, I will dive into the practicality of the phone's new Galaxy AI feature, assesses how its new cameras compare against its predecessor and rivals, find out how long its battery lasts, and ultimately determine if it's worth the money. Look quick and you might not notice the design changes Samsung made to the Galaxy S24 Ultra. Most notably, the new model ditches its predecessor's armor aluminum frame for a titanium one, which bolsters durability and in this case leads to a lighter package as well. On paper, the Galaxy S24 Ultra's 8.22 ounce weight doesn't seem like a tremendous difference over the S23 Ultra's 8.25 ounce weight, but the phone just feels less dense this time. Another change pertains to the end of an era for the series, its curved screen. I am on the fence about this change because the curved screen of past Ultras gave the phone this sleek looking aesthetic. Instead, the S24 Ultra adopts a flat display that hugs the edge of the titanium frame. Samsung's reasoning for this change pertains to the S Pen. The flatter panel makes it less likely for the stylus to fall over the edge. But then again, I end up using a case with my older curvier Galaxy S Ultra that prevents this such thing from happening. The last and subtle change involves 42% slimmer bezels according to Samsung's math. I only see it with the bottom portion at the display since the rest of the bezels appear very similar to the Galaxy S23 Ultra. One of the disappointments that will probably go under the radar is how there is no significant change to the S Pen. I was really hoping for Samsung to add something new to the fold here, seeing that the S Pen is one of the features that makes the Ultra distinctively different from everything else. Overall, I don't love or hate the design, but at least there are far more color options to choose from versus other phones, like the titanium violet version of my review unit. On top of that, there are several cases at launch that sprinkle more utility to the phone, like the preview window of the S-View wallet case. Samsung Voice Recorder. Another useful Galaxy AI feature I have tested is the new AI features with Samsung's Voice Recorder app. Much like the Recorder app on Google Pixel's phone, the Samsung Voice Recorder app can transcribe recordings, label individual speakers, and even summarize the entire thing into a TLDR-styled bullet list. For anyone who frequently has work meetings or conducts interviews, this is an invaluable tool because it streamlines your workflow. When I use the S24 Ultra's voice recorder, I no longer need to waste time listening to the entire recording and typing out verbatim what people say. I can let Galaxy AI do it all for me, and I am thrilled at how much time it saves me. In another virtual meeting I had with some colleagues, Galaxy AI was able to distinguish all the different colors in my meetings, and it managed to do a decent job at transcribing their words. Some words didn't come out right, but I find the speakerphone more at fault because of its shrill tone. Once I finished recording, I used the Samsung function to give me a formatted overview, which I then proceeded to add to Samsung Notes. I would say it works rather well, and in my opinion, does a lot more than the Pixel 8 Pro's voice recording app. Without question, the biggest controversy circling the Galaxy S24 Ultra centers around Samsung's decision to ditch the 10x optical zoom camera of the S23 Ultra for a 5x optical one. That one key spec will cause people to think the new camera setup is technically inferior, but bear in mind that Samsung trades in the optical range for a higher resolution sensor, a 50 megapixel sensor instead of a 10 megapixel one to be specific. The Galaxy S24 Ultra remains a formidable camera phone consisting of a main 200 megapixel camera boasting 60% larger pixels, a 12 megapixel ultra-wide camera, a 10 megapixel telephoto lens with a 3x optical zoom, and that new 50 megapixel telephoto camera with a 5x optical zoom we mentioned above. That camera can still offer 10x zooms by taking a picture and then zooming in as the resolution drops to 12 megapixels. Samsung says that this approach on the S24 Ultra can deliver the same optical quality performance as its predecessor, which doesn't surprise me. We have seen this executed on other phones with excellent zooming results like iPhone 15's 2x telephoto zoom. Before I detail the new telephoto camera and whether Samsung made the wrong decision, I will explain how this phone other cameras perform under different situations along with side-by-side comparisons against the S23 Ultra and iPhone 15 Pro Max. Starting with the main camera, I can't see much change over the S23 Ultra. Details are plentiful, colors are vivid, and the S24 Ultra's HDR performance does nicely to even out the highlights and shadows. I'm perfectly fine with these results, but in the back of my mind I was hoping for a wider separation from last year's model. Compared to the iPhone 15 Pro Max, it comes down to personal preference. In the shot of the outside O2 forum, the iPhone's HDR performance is at peak display. When I look how the wooden panels of the front doors pop up out more. The S24 Ultra also appears to have a colder color temperature as well. Here are some camera samples and you can see it. Aside from the camera hardware, the Galaxy S24 Ultra continues to offer features that cater to photo and video enthusiasts. In fact, Samsung's latest remains one of the few phones that can shoot 8K video. It also offers full manual controls with video, but the biggest software gains for the Galaxy S24 Ultra cameras relate to the innovative Galaxy AI editing tools at my disposal for editing photos. These AI-assisted features make it feel like I have my own personal photo editor doing all the work in making my photos look more epic. And just like the other Galaxy AI features I have explained, the photo editing tools save me time. I have tested them out. Here's what I think about them. The Edit Suggestion. AI-powered Edit Suggestions takes the images I captured and tweaks them by analyzing the photo and offering suggestions on possible edits. The most notable option is the ability to easily remove reflections of glass surfaces, which could be a painstaking process if you did it manually. With Edit Suggestion, I simply tap the option, and after a few seconds of analyzing the photo, the Galaxy S24 Ultra software removes the reflection. I think it does a really good job of identifying those reflections. I tried this out while I was leaning on a window that visibly showed my reflection, but with a quick tap, the S24 Ultra automatically removes them. I think it does it well, but you can see how it misses a small stripe that's a bit more defined than the rest of the reflections. Generative Edit. Taking a page out of Google's playbook, the S24 Ultra gains its own magic editor tools to manipulate photos. In the S24 Ultra's case, the new feature is called Generative Edit. In this mode, I can select a subject and then reposition or resize it anywhere in the photo. The phone fills in the blank spaces with generative AI. This works very well, and it is convincing as well as because the stuff it generates still gives the photo a realistic look. Furthermore, Generative Edit can also take crooked photos and make them straight, all while using generative AI to realistically compose blank space in the magic. It's worth pointing out that using these generative edit features will automatically apply a watermark to the photo, indicating it's manipulated with AI as well as in the metadata. Instant Slow-Mo. I am inclined to use the new Instant Slow-Mo features more than the rest because it can convert any video I record into a slow motion clip. While there is technically a dedicated slow motion mode, this one uses Galaxy AI to throw in additional frames that produce the slow motion effect. From what I have inspected, by analyzing each frame, it appears as though AI is blending two frames together to produce the instant slow motion effect. And you know what? It's almost hard to tell the difference. There are some minor oddities when I inspect the details, like some ghosting, blurring effects to areas of the video that have a lot of motion, but I think Samsung manages to pull it off without the video looking too unrealistic. All versions of the Galaxy S24 Ultra are powered by Snapdragon 8 Gen 3 and chipset built with AI in mind. It's technically fresh off the press, and I have seen it put up astounding numbers in various benchmark tests in other phones like Asus ROG Phone 8 Pro, but somehow it's pulling in better results with our Galaxy S24 Ultra benchmark testing. Take for example the Galaxy S24 Ultra's Geekbench 6 single and multi-score, which at 2308 and 7083 respectively easily exceeds the Galaxy S23 Ultra. Meanwhile, the S24 Ultra also beats the A17 Pro chip powering the iPhone 15 Pro Max in the multi-core test, the first time we have seen an Android device do that to one of Apple's phones. The Snapdragon 8 Gen 3's mighty power is on display in just about every interaction I have on the phone. From swiping between the home screen to switching between two apps, there's always this sense of fluidness with its actions. Even more impressive is the phone's graphic processing performance, where the Galaxy S24 Ultra sets records with 3D Mark Wildlife Unlimited test. Its 20,627 score is a leap better than the next closest device to match it, the Asus ROG Phone 8, followed by the iPhone 15 Pro Max and Galaxy S23 Ultra. I have seen the S24 Ultra's hyper smooth and intensive graphics processing prowess with gamers that support ray tracing like Diablo Immortal. Small details like how shadows change due to lighting condition show how everything reacts to so smoothly on the Galaxy S24 Ultra, while these same animations and effects tend to downgrade the frame rate when I play it on the OnePlus Open and its older Snapdragon 8 Gen 2 Silicon. Typically, this type of gamers often cause other phones to heat up, but Samsung redesigned the cooling system on the Galaxy S24 Ultra so that the phone stays cool even after I have had extended gaming sessions with Diablo Immortal. The phone's neo-optimal thermal control system features a vapor chamber that's almost double the size of the one on the S23 Ultra. However, the only oddity we have discovered is the new Samsung phone's slower video rendering time with Adobe Premiere Rush. Even though its time of 42 seconds isn't too shabby, the Galaxy S24 Ultra trails the faster times put up by its rivals, including last year's S23 Ultra. Not only is the Galaxy S24 Ultra one of the most powerful phones ever created, but it's leading the way for flagships in the battery department. What's shocking here is that Samsung keeps the same 5000 mAh battery as before, which means that the differentiating factor here is in the improved power efficiency of the Snapdragon 8 Gen 3. I consider myself a power user, especially when I put in some decent times throughout the day playing games on my phone. That's why I am overjoyed that the Galaxy S24 Ultra has the juice to get me through a solid workday without the need of topping up at some point. In our battery benchmark testing, the Galaxy S24 Ultra lasts 16 hours and 45 minutes, which is nearly 3.5 hours longer than the Galaxy S23 Ultra. The only other flagship rival that comes close to matching its endurance is the iPhone 15 Pro Max's time of 14 hours and 2 seconds. As of this reviewing, the Galaxy S24 Ultra finds itself in the top 3 of our best phone battery life list, topped only by 2 gaming phones especially geared toward long play sessions. I am stoked about the battery life boosts because the Galaxy S24 Ultra's wired and wireless charging speeds haven't changed from previous models. We are still getting 45-watt wired charging, which manages to charge the phone to 71% in 30 minutes. That's technically better than the iPhone 15 Pro Max's 41% with a 20-watt Apple charger, but it would have been better for Samsung to upgrade this feature and maybe give the 15-watt wireless charging speed a boost too. Samsung has paid the most attention to Galaxy AI on the new S24 phones, while One UI 6.1 running on top of Android 14 only gets a few minor visual changes, namely its new AI-generated wallpapers. There is still an incredible set of tools that cater to productivity, but I was hoping to see more improvements directed towards the S Pen and Samsung DeX. It's a big missed opportunity in my opinion because these are 2 features that made the Galaxy Ultra series unique among flagships. I still use the S Pen for navigating around using it as a hover tool in Chrome, while DeX continues to be my backup when I happen to leave my laptop at work. I would have loved to see Galaxy AI features extended to DeX or S Pen somehow. Despite this, the One UI software still has everything I need to get work done. It might not be the most elegant looking interface, but at least it has more functionality than the average phone. Samsung also promises 7 years of security updates and 7 years of OS updates, which matches the same generous support found with the Google Pixel 8 and Pixel 8 Pro. There is a lot to say about how Samsung's approach to artificial intelligence with the Galaxy S24 Ultra. From my experience, the Galaxy AI capabilities are fairly intuitive to use and save me a lot of time, exactly what AI is supposed to do for us. Features such as circle to search, generative edit, instant slow-mo, and note assist all feel polished, while others such as live translate could benefit from more machine learning. Regardless, the Galaxy S24 Ultra proves that AI is here for the long haul. Yet I am a little disappointed that the Galaxy S24 Ultra camera performance doesn't have the same dramatic improvement I have seen from past updates. Samsung's choice to drop the 10x optical camera for a 5x one is the most glaring and controversial change. A downgrade I hope doesn't happen ever again. But despite this, the S24 Ultra has marked improvements to its processing power and battery life, two key areas I look at with any phone. The Galaxy S24 Ultra is not just a better, it sets the benchmark for all other phone releases in 2024. Knowing that the increase in price to $1,299 does complicate matters a bit, given that I feel the majority of its AI features are practical, combined with its performance and battery gains, it's still worth getting the Galaxy S24 Ultra if you are in the market for a super phone or upgrading from a handset that's a few years older. Thanks for watching, see you in the next one.